Welcome to your new moon forecast for November 1st, 2024. This is a Vedic Astrology update. This is a new moon that starts the month, a super powerful new moon at that in Libra, Festival of Lee, also at this time. And this new moon is a time for us to set our new intentions, open a new cycle. It's the new lunar cycle. And this new moon being one that is really asking us to amplify our intentions around balance in relationship, but also to balance our own individuality at the same time. So we're going to have to look at our compromises that we make in relationship. Hi, I'm Prema and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so glad that you're here. If you haven't already subscribed, I so appreciate you doing so. It helps this video to get seen on the YouTube algorithm and other people can use this great information. And if you haven't taken the archetype quiz, the Sacred Wealth Code Archetype quiz, the link is down below. It's free, along with the free chart calculator that helps you understand what is your ascendant, what is your moon in Vedic astrology, and gives you a guide to the houses and signs to help you to make better sense of these. And of course, all the links for my readings. You can have a personal reading with me. The new moon on November 1st Pacific time occurs in Libra and in the Nakshatra of Swati. It is at 15 degrees of Libra, and it also marks the festival of Diwali, ushering the new cycle. This is the festival of lights. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. This is the darkest moon of the year, with the sun debilitated in Libra, the great leader, along with the moon, the great nurturer in Libra. Sun and moon together makes a dark moon, makes a new moon. That's the internal time, a perfect time to set your intentions for the next lunar cycle. And this lunar cycle, being in Libra, is very much about relationships. It's a social sign, a social placement. We want to find our balance between our individuality and how we are and who we're with in relationship. And can we do that in a way of compromise that makes sense to us without getting lost in losing a sense of self in relationships, which is actually a really tall order. And we all have to work with. This is where the sun is challenged. The great leader, the great king are challenged here because this is a placement where it's not so much about us. Again, this is about us and how we are with others. So the sun has to take a bit of a step back, as it's been in this placement for a couple of weeks already, and it will be until November 15th, and then it'll move to Scorpio and have a very different energy. This stepping back is so that we can also allow the light to shine on others as well. This is ruled by Venus. That's Libra is ruled by Venus, which is all about our heart, our great connector, also the great artist. It's beauty, it's luxury, it is wealth. These are all things that Venus rules, and relationships and our hearts. But it's, again, a place where we can also lose ourselves in relationships. So there are things that people want you to be and want you to do. And there are things that, how you are and want to be and want to do in a relationship. And there's a compromise that usually needs to happen in relationship. But what we want to watch out for is where we're compromising things that we don't really want to compromise on, because we are afraid of letting go of the relationship, or the relationship will not exist unless we compromise this one thing. So we tend to lose our sense of self sometimes. So this is one of the places that we're asked to take a deep look at, because yes, we need to compromise, but at the same time, we don't want to compromise things that we don't really want to compromise. And that's like losing, okay, I have to give you this piece of me. No, you need to be the whole of you and be in relationships where you are honored for the whole of you. And that's not to say that there aren't going to be compromises. There are, absolutely. But we have to want to. Yeah, I'm willing to give you some of that. Yeah, I'm willing to give you some of that. Okay, great. Freedom and individuality, Aries, and where this next new full moon is going to be, and the last full moon was. We've got this Aries energy on both, just right at the beginning and last degrees of Aries for these two full moons. And this is, opposite of that. So we're just riding this teeter-totter, and it's this energy, this cosmic energy. Remember, everything that we go through is good for something. We just need to know what it's for, and that's my intention. Here's what the cosmic weather is. Here's what it's good for, even if it's presenting to be not really a great thing. It's good for something. Let's find out what it's good for, and let's go with that energy, learn what we're being called to learn with, make our choices from a new place that is even more liberating for us. Because I don't care what your chart is, what your karma is, you are at choice. You are always at choice. And a lot of our work here is to overcome those soul challenges that we have chosen on some level. This will receive the this is the new moon, will receive the aspect of a debilitated Mars. So there can be some simmering emotions coming to the surface during this new moon. So just be aware of that. Now, this is also coinciding with Diwali, the Festival of Light. And this is literally like the darkest night of the year because of the debilitated sun. And this is really about the intention. This is really about the intention of burning the light within, and that the order that light brings to the universe. So it's the, light over dark, and where we can really see the truth and honor that light within, honor the triumph of good within, honor Lord Rama, the great protector. This is new beginnings. It's always on a new moon, so it's new beginnings as well. But not just like any old new beginning like we're talking about in Libra and relationships, but new beginning in that, okay, how can I move more from my light? All my work is about moving from the inside out. How can you take the light of your being and move that more through you and out into your life and out into the world, which I believe using your divine gifts, using your, what I call your highest value gifts, which your Sacred Wealth Code gives you, is one of the most amazing ways to do that. Now, this is a time of calling in abundance and the blessings for the year to come, with calling in the goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and prosperity, is honored here. And also calling on Lord Ganesh to overcome obstacles. So as we call in these different gods and goddesses, they're literally aspects of ourselves, aspects of the universe, and tapping into that energy. So you can call in the goddess Lakshmi, set your intention for wealth in the Sacred Wealth Code Journey, $22 program for 11 amazing modules that I just taught live, is available in the link down below. This is where we also created our wealth dream just in the very first part of this program, which is one of the ways to call in your wealth, your abundance. You have to know what it is of the wealth that you want and what you want it for. So that would be a great way to honor your wealth, your abundance, and call in Lakshmi to help you with your wealth dream. Light a candle. Keep your light bright within your spiritual practice. This is a darker time in the Northern Hemisphere as we move towards the solstice, and we want to, as the dark goes, on the outer world, let's brighten up on the inside. Set your wealth and abundance intentions. Again, the Sacred Wealth Code Journey and doing your wealth dream is a great way to do that. This new moon is in Libra, but it's also in the Nakshatra of Swati. That's one of the beautiful things about Vedic astrology. We're looking at the fixed stars that are behind the signs that never move. And those fixed stars, there are groupings of them. They are 27 different nakshatras within the whole zodiac. So this gives a finer delineation of what the energy is about. So this is in Swati, which is actually ruled by Rahu, the north node of the moon. My magician is here somewhere. Here's my magician, the north node of the moon, and is represented by the symbol of the sword, which has the ability to cut through things, and also to have that sword and defend oneself. So it's a place of, it's actually called the self-going star, for strength and for courage. Helps us to take a stand for ourselves have really good boundaries. That's again that energy here in Libra around relationships. Create our own space. It's also represented by the grass that bends with the wind. The grass is very strong and it can get really blown around, but it has this flexibility to not break as it goes with the flow. So this gives us a quality of adaptability. What are you being called to adapt to at this time? And especially in the realm of relationship, but that doesn't mean being too compromising. Adapting and going with the flow, again, without being self-negating, without losing yourself. What are you being called to around that? A great question to sit with on this new moon. It's calling us to be intentional with how we bring our light. How are you shining? In my membership, the Sacred Wealth Collective, the tagline is show up and shine. We are all here to show up and shine, but are we actually doing that? Using your highest value gifts, which is where your purpose and prosperity intersect, is one of the great ways to show up and shine. We do that with our Sacred Wealth Code, gives you that information. And in the Sacred Wealth Collective, that's really about getting aligned with your highest potential, your soul purpose, your divine gifts, and how are you going to show up and shine with those, and working past the blocks that keep you from doing that. I do a new moon reading and a teaching to navigate the energy of the month. And this is a live call, a live video that I do inside our own private app space. And then also I do a live Q&A and answer your questions, do mini readings for you. And then also the full moon healing circle is part of that, along with meditations and clearing processes. So lots of great teachings, a lot of great resources for you within the membership. I encourage you to check it out. Link is down below. It's only $110 a month, or you can pay $111 for the year and get 2 months free. This is also an energy in Swati where we find God, the God Vayu, the God of the wind, and harness the wind into our spiritual practice. So a beautiful time for breath work, for pranayama, for those deep breathing practices, alternate nostril breathing practices. There's box breathing. This helps us to manage our prana, our energy, and helps us to manage our mind, because in this we need to watch out for that monkey mind and also communication that might come out in gossip, so to speak. So we want to practice our adulting here and engage in, again, putting our energy clearly into relationship and disengaging our energy where it doesn't belong. Lord Brahma is also highlighted here, and lighting the lamps so Lord Brahma could find its way home. So that's, it just takes a small light and being very present. You're being called to lead with your light. And again, your gifts are one of the most beautiful ways that you can lead with your light. So this is a very powerful new moon for you to set your intentions, to chant, to come to the membership. I do a new moon reading and teaching, and to call in that abundance that you're ready for, and set your intentions on how you're going to shine your light in this next lunar cycle. This is an interesting time. If you haven't watched my November update, please do. We've got a lot of great transformational energy, but we've got a debilitated Mars. We've got a very interesting social climate going on, and it's going to be really important that we all shine our light and don't get caught in gossip and emotional energy that's really reactive. We need to be responsive, and we need to move from the inside out, really to create the world that we're here to create. And you wouldn't be here at this time if you weren't part of that. I'm open for private readings. Links are down below. All my programs, as I've mentioned, all the links are down below. And I can't wait to see you next time. So much love to you.